thank you very much once again for checking out the channel. Thanks for the interest. Now we're talking about the Orion Nebula, also known as Messier 42. This is an amazing diffuse nebula. It's situated inside of the Milky Way. It's south of Orion's belt in the constellation of Orion, of course. It's one of the brightest nebulae and it's visible to the naked eye in the night sky and is the closest region of massive star formation to Earth. It's one of the closest regions that are forming stars. There are star formations. The M42 Nebula is estimated to be 24 light years across. Not far. I mean, that's its dimensions of it. It has a mass of about 2,000 times the mass of our Sun. Can you imagine that? Of course, older texts frequently refer to the Orion Nebula as the Great Nebula in Orion. I do myself. The Orion Nebula is one of the most scrutinized and photographed objects in the night sky and is among the most intensely studied celestial features. Why? The nebula has revealed much about the process of how stars and planetary systems are formed from collapsing clouds of gas and dust. Astronomers have directly observed protoplanetary disks, brown dwarfs, intense and turbulent motions of the gas, and the photoionizing effects of massive nearby stars inside of the nebula. We know from science that star objects exist. No, not us, the people, because we're not scientists, but look it up. It's the most amazing thing you'll ever look into. Star objects, triangular, symmetrical shapes, circular, square, rectangular, and they're born that way as they fall out of this dense cloud. But this dense cloud is almost as dense as a planet. It is actually. This is the cloud complex, the Milky Way. I look directly up over my head. When you look up in the sky, directly right over your head, it's the Milky Way, the beautiful sky that we can see, and this is just a photo that I took. I was able to capture Betelgeuse the other night in the constellation of Orion. Betelgeuse, also designated Alpha Orionis, abbreviated Alpha Ori. It's the 9th brightest star in the night sky and second brightest in the constellation of Orion. It is very distinctly reddish. It is a semi-regular variable star whose apparent magnitude varies between 0.0 and 1.3, the widest range of any first magnitude star. Betelgeuse is one of the 3 stars that make up the winter triangle asterism, and it marks the center of the winter hexagon. It would be the brightest star in the night sky if the human eye could view all wavelengths of radiation. The star is classified as a red supergiant of spectral type M1 to M2 and is one of the largest and most luminous stars visible to the naked eye. If Betelgeuse were at the center of the solar system, its surface would extend past the asteroid belt, wholly engulfing the orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Calculations of its mass range from slightly under to a little over 20 times that the size of the Sun. It's calculated to be 640 light years away, yielding an absolute magnitude of about -6, less than 10 million years old. Betelgeuse has evolved rapidly because of its high mass, having been ejected from its birthplace in the Orion OB1 association, which includes the stars of Orion's belt. This runaway star has been observed moving through the interstellar medium at a speed of 30 kilometers per second, creating a bow shock over 4 light years wide. Currently in a late stage of stellar evolution, the supergiant is expected to explode as a supernova within the next million years. The Constellation program, I don't know if you're all familiar with it, by NASA, also known as 6P. Okay, we're talking about a manned space flight program developed by NASA. The major goals of the program were completion of the International Space Station and a return to the moon, a crewed flight manned mission to Mars' ultimate goal. The program's logo reflected the three stages of the program in blue. If you look it up, you can see the logo. While the Mars goal also found expression in the name given to the program's booster rockets, Ares, the Greek equivalent of Roman god Mars, the technological aims of the program included regaining of significant astronaut experience beyond low Earth orbit and the development of technologies necessary to enable sustained human presence on other planetary bodies. Constellation began in response to the goals laid out in the Vision for Space Exploration under NASA's administrator, Sean O'Keefe. O'Keefe, he's a successor of course, Michael D. Griffin, ordered a complete review termed the Exploration Systems Architecture Study, which reshaped now how NASA would pursue the goals laid out in the Vision for Space Exploration and its finding for formalized by NASA Authorization Act of 2005. So the program, $230 billion as of 2004, is supposed to go program duration 2005 to 2025, sending people out to see if we can evolve and continue living on other planets, human presence. So, the transition to the red giant. It's important to say that we base all our information and research on a core, the core of a star, a red giant, by its outer envelope. Now, the most important concept to recall when studying stars is the concept of hydrostatic equilibrium. When the nuclear fusion is going on in a star's core, the pressure created by this process pushes outward and balances exactly the inward pull of gravity. The first stage of evolution of a star is the main sequence stage, and this accounts for approximately 80% of the star's total lifetime. During this time, the star is fusing hydrogen from its core, basically pushing out helium. That's what it's transforming itself into. The star's color is a measurement of its surface temperature, of course, and luminosity only the change slightly over the course of its main sequence lifetime as the rate of nuclear fusion changes as the star slowly converts hydrogen to helium. When the star initially begins fusing hydrogen, it is said to be on the zero-age main sequence, ZAMS, also known, over a star's main sequence lifetime. As it fuses hydrogen into helium, its outer envelope will respond to slow internal changes.